Hey guys, welcome to our review of Lupinranger vs. Patranger number 25. As your host, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
I'm the Cinder Blaze.
Makotoa.
Alex is back. Man, I flubbed this hard. So this episode was decent. We got to see both teams sort of get along, but I don't know. There was just something not quite right. It didn't sit right with me, and I don't know what it is, but I did like a lot of things about this episode.
Yeah, I feel like I said in the watch along, this is trying to feel like a climax about building up some of the plot lines. One of them just being like them accepting Lupin X. Yeah. I feel like they've either already done that, or maybe we haven't really seen they kind of accepted him, but even like later on in this episode and like the post fight scene, they really don't. It doesn't feel like they did.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're really trying to go for that whatsoever. But there was just a lot of other fun things that I liked. One of them being even the team up, which I didn't like because Good Striker just kind of forced it on them. Like they acknowledge that the two teams aren't really working together. It's just that Pink can actually put up with the Lupin Rangers and actually, help them and not be a complete stick in the mud like Red. So I thought that was kind of funny. And, all the fight scenes were spectacular.
No, yeah, especially that final Zord fight was spectacular. I really took issue a lot with the Noel stuff. Like you said, it's kind of like the climax without the build-up. But for me, it was really Noel showing, trying to prove himself to Red in a way that didn't really make sense to me. And I mean, maybe I haven't thought about it enough, or maybe it was just really stupid. He went in to fight on his own. It was so unnecessary what he did, and it didn't quite there was a benefit to it, but it'd be even more beneficial and less taxing on his health, and he was already pretty beat up, which I don't know how he got that way, but that's probably probably me not paying attention to 24. But it was so unnecessary, and I didn't understand why that made Lupin Red turn around on him, because Lupin Red's sort of writing and acting have been pretty good about pulling together these certain stories, and this just didn't.
I liked the last episode when Red was having interactions with Pink. Yeah, that worked for me. I didn't really like you guys are saying, I didn't quite understand what he did that was so fantastic to accomplish this, trust from everyone. He's 1v1'd the villains before. Sure, he was a bit injured this time, but is the only thing that we really got out of it was, oh, well, at least I know you can go all out, or, you're willing to go all out or risk it all. It's is that all we're getting out of this? It was kind of weak.
That was never really an issue until he just said it was this episode.
And it was just a really dumb plan and a really dumb way to get there. It didn't help, or it only served to hurt his character, really. Because he's a smart guy, and you'd expect him to make smart moves, smart decisions, and that was just why take the risk?
Yeah. And they're already doing a lot of stuff already, as Michael said, with Red and Pink. We already had a small character, not arc, but interaction that went along with this arc. So that was already fine, and we kind of paid that off with Pink actually kind of helping the Lupin Rangers. So why force another thing into it? Just make it simple. Even the Good Striker stuff was directly related to that, and not particularly the silver stuff. They just needed a way to put that one scene where it's like, oh, we need to put 6 things there, you know? So.
Yeah, I expected, because that was the big thing that this show was leading up to on its own premise alone. Like, you knew this Versus show was going to inevitably turn into a team-up episode. At the very least, you know, it was going to lead into that. And, like, it had all this time. It knew it was going to do it. How do you make it so lackluster? You know?
I feel like it's the toys wanting them to hurry up with their premise already, and they're not really willing to do that yet.
Could be.
Like, I feel like we've just been stuck. Like, the whole gimmick of this show is that they're verses, and they have to stick to it for better or for worse, and
we don't get anywhere as a result, yeah.
Exactly, and I feel like we're just stalled in place with filler most of the time, too.
Yeah.
Like, it slows the show down, and I don't know, just, I guess juxtaposed with the forward momentum of build, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing about some of those filler episodes. They're relatively decent. Like, they're not, like, overwhelmingly bad. And when we kind of go to some of these more plot-related stuff, like, sometimes they drop the ball hard on these. Like,
yeah.
I feel like some of the worst episodes have been stuff that are directly related to plot. And this was a good episode. But there were some really bad parts, especially with, like, Patranger and Ichigo. Like, I kind of hated what he was kind of, like, saying. Like, I don't know why he was, like, so, like, dead set against the Lupinrangers, especially in this moment. Against this enemy, like,
that's his character type. It's always gonna be, like, there. It's like a joke.
To like, me, it felt very in character, and very, like, the fact that he was willing to budge at all showed that there's this slight willingness, and that moment of silence, like, he looked at Pink and she nodded, looked at Green, he nodded, looked at Red, he didn't do anything, and that's so, like, he would have railed that guy had he been 10, maybe even an episode or 2 earlier.
Best part of the episode was that. No.
Yeah, it was such a characterful moment for him to just have stood there and not acknowledged it. Like, his pride hurt so much that he was helping him that he didn't want to acknowledge it at all. And I get it, dude. Like, that was one of the most relatable things he's done. So I'm totally on board.
Before we continue, I actually wanted to just bring up, like, and it's probably just telling because we didn't bring it up or it was kind of glazed over. When Silver mentioned, "Oh, I'm doing this because I'm just like you guys. I have a friend." And then it just, like, nothing. It goes nowhere. See, there's not even a flashback. We don't get a single thing, and they're probably, like, will we get anything about it next episode? Good question. I have no idea.
Look,
I don't even.
This show, every single episode, they've slipped us a tiny nugget of, like, oh, hey, maybe they'll resolve it later, or, like, you know, they'll give us just enough to where, I mean, we're still hungry, but we want to continue trying to come back to this place. Because, oh, that was a tasty morsel. Hopefully they'll do better next time. And they probably won't.
Yeah, like, they have a lot of potential to take the plot to interesting places. They just never do anything with it. And it's kind of, like, infuriating at times. Like, this whole thing, like, oh, I have this friend. I mean, like, they're probably going to resolve it, but they're not going to do it, like, now. It's going to be, like, probably 10 episodes later when we forget about it, and then
they'll be like, it's going to be shoved into the end, and then they're going to merge all of their animals together into a gorilla, an eagle, and a whale, and then defeat the villain who turned out to just be a bunch of amoebas.
Gosh,
and he was just mad about it.
You saw my amoebas.
But like,
someone's gonna walk into, like, that one dude just changing, and he's like, "They saw my drawers. Gotta kill this one."
No, but, like, I feel like there's just this trail of breadcrumbs, and it's gonna lead to nothing.
Yeah.
Or nothing we want, because by then the bread's moldy. The full bread loaf is moldy.
Don't worry, we still got Samiko to pick this up for us.
I mean, they only just brought him back after he just kind of like disappeared for a while.
No, he didn't disappear. He's been in the last few episodes, just kind of like it's been so.
Oh, that's right.
So useless. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing
it's been a big nothing with him.
Speaking of big nothing, the main villain, like he showed up. He talked, and I don't remember. There's nothing memorable he said. There was nothing important stated. Like, it felt like those scenes weren't even useful outside of, like, hey, we need to acknowledge that they're still around, and also pay lip service to how powerful this guy is, the villain of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really weird, because I like this episode, but I don't...
I mean, we've gotten, it's the good fights and it's the good like CG at the end, which was impressive to me. Like for the fact that like we didn't get any of the suit actors for the actual fighting part. They did lots of cool stuff, like him jumping off the buildings and stuff. Like that's something that you don't really see in the Zord battles up till this point, really, except for like. Maybe final episode, type stuff where they really go all out. So it was really nice to see something like that. But I mean, it's just attached to this plot that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, like I feel like, individually these episodes are fine, but the whole, the entire thing that we are seeing of it, it's just falling apart. Or like there's nothing.
I mean, falling apart. Someone put together.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I think we've farted on this show enough because it's weird. We like this episode. Anyways, that just about does it for us. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to hear more from us each week, and hey, if you want more content and you want to watch the episode again, we did a watch along yesterday, so you can go ahead and check that out on this channel. And also our review for Kamen Rider Build went out today. Hello, I'm Starfire. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
Oh, now that was incorrect. You did it right in the watch along.
What are you talking about? I'm not.
I'll fix it in the next watch along.
No, it was not your fault. Michael, you said the same thing!
Is that, I never established that I was going to do it the right way every